cold situation, and we're looking forward to seeing how the racing unfolds and to bring you something a little bit special. This time we're showing you all of the races. So here we are in Tábor in Czechia.
Czech Republic.
As you can see, it is a little bit frosty in the background. Generally when we race here, it is all about your ability to ride in these rock-hard conditions. And the men's junior race is just starting to line up now.
And from Netherlands,
see the riders wearing their jackets,
line number 7.
because they know just how difficult this start is going to be. They're going to leave it right to the last moment. -9 is the temperature, 3 km/h winds. The sun is going to come out, so as we go through the day, the men's juniors are going to endure the worst of the temperatures during this race. But later on, the sun is going to make this a little bit different. Well, we're going to talk you through the start list. Here we go, 65 entries, 14 different nations represented. And there's the riders who are representing their various nations during this race. We've got some very strong riders who are lined up as always, and they want to get started in this World Cup. They want to make sure that they get themselves up there already with some points. A very strong USA contingent who've travelled here to Czechia for this race. Well, the Italian junior champion is right on the front row of the grid, Patrick Pezzo Orosolo. Also, he'll be up against some pretty stiff competition during this first round of racing. As always, we'll get the riders out on the course. They'll do the first couple of laps, and then we'll know how many laps that this race is going to be. And during today, we're going to bring you the women's junior race, then the men's under 23, and then we move into the elite races as well.
Of the category junior men.
Well, the crowd are ready, and the riders now have decided that it is time to peel off the jerseys, leaving it right as you would expect at -9 to the very, very last second they possibly can. They've warmed up, and the last thing they want is to get freezing cold on this start line. And there are the riders, the Dutch rider there, getting himself ready. That's number 20, and that's Cas Timmermans. Looks pretty composed the last few moments as the commissaires get everything set. And the crowd getting their last few moments of...
Ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute to the start.
Photographs and videos before we get underway. The
start.
pits is very busy, and it shouldn't be too bad today with the fact that everything is a little bit hard under the wheels, so we'll probably expect that there won't be too many bike changes. All focused already.
30 seconds to start. 30 seconds.
Tape is going to be drawn back for this first round of the World Cup in Tábor. And now it's going to be absolutely flat out. And we're underway. The first round of this Junior World Cup Cyclo-cross has got started as they go flying off this start line, and look at the acceleration of these junior riders. Into the very first turn, big right hander. Let's see who comes out first. Really quick through those first turns. The riders have had to really think about the amount of pressure that they put in the tyres for these slightly icy conditions. And look at that, that's a tremendous shot as we see them flowing their way through these initial turns. Soren Bruyère, who's at the front for France, dip through there, and as always in Tábor, we love to see this style of racing. With it being so hard under the tyres, you can get some absolutely flat-out bike racing. Soren Bruyère is up there, Gil Lejeune, and following him is David Svoboda. A few gaps opening up. As always, this time in the season, we'll start to see some new characters emerge in the junior races. Find out who's got the form, who's come out into this winter season with good legs. So the American is Noah Scholnick, who's up there towards the front as well. At the bottom of the screen, as always, you'll have the ability to follow along with the rider that you want to keep an eye on during the race. The 60 is up there, the British rider, Jacob Steed. First of those little steps has been encountered. And it is still Soren Bruyère who's up there at the front and really leading the charge, looking good for France. The atmosphere in Tábor is always good. We're already getting the cowbells being rung. Gaps opening up here and there. You've just got to try and keep yourself in the wheels. Look at that. It looks like a video game, doesn't it? As everybody works their way through the twists and the turns of this course. Through that little single track section as you jump up there. There is room to move up a little bit on that left-hand side, the right-hand side as we look. Frenchman still leading the pace through this leafy little section. Looks very comfortable, doesn't he? The rider's having to get off through here, onto the steps now. Shoulder the bike as quick as possible. Choosing to just pick the bike up a little bit earlier than others. Bruyère is really making everybody struggle right now. 17 years of age, comes from Grenoble. Works his way downhill there. Imagine what the elite race is going to be like later if this surface doesn't get damp in any way whatsoever. 4 minutes through this initial lap. Keep an eye on the average speeds today and what's happening. Pits are ready should anybody need it. Looks like Soren Bruyère's decided not to do that. He's a junior French national champion. He won that back in August. He's one of those riders who's being kept an eye on, as you can see with the Van Riesel bike. He rides for the Decathlon Agidezelle Mondial under-19 team right now, and he'll continue with them in 2026. Junior's able to bunny hop these boards already. And we've got the chainsaws out in this particular section.
the first two guys.
Starting to get a little duo at the front now. They seem to be just able to pull away a little.
Where Jumar and the UNN. These two have a small gap in the lead right now, as you can see from the beautiful aerial view of the whole area.
So it's the Belgian rider who is joining up with him, Gil Lejeune.
And the chasing back, leading by Patrick Petzorosola.
Staying in on the wheels nicely, Gil Lejeune. Third in the European Championships. And the Italian rider trying to get himself across now is Patrick Petzorosola, the Italian junior champion, second in the European Championships. Just forcing the tempo a little bit now. Oh, another little crash from Gil Lejeune. Well, he hadn't made any mistakes, and that's the problem on this course. The Frenchman now is left on his own, and Gil Lejeune, who was looking so strong for that race, it just shows the difference between winning and losing on this course can be just a fraction of a second and a little bit of a mistake into one of the turns. Way through the gears on that particular section, and just how long now is this lined out peloton with so many riders. 65 riders from 14 different nations, spread over a long, long time now already on this course. It's Tommaso Cingolà. Very close now towards the end of the first lap of racing here in Tábor. Welcome along. I'm Anthony McCrossan. We're here in Tábor in Czechia for the first round of this World Cup, and we're going to bring you every single race today, which is an absolute bonus. Coming up to the end of lap number 1, and it's the Frenchman who leads. The Italian is chasing hard now, and he's starting to find maybe that he needed to have Gil Lejeune with him. He goes through to complete lap number 1.
Right now,
7:57 opening lap for Soren Bruyère.
And he's in the great lead of margin 6 seconds. In the second place,
Then 6 seconds to Patrick Petzorosola. Filippo Grigolini is in third place, also there in 6 seconds. A little conversation going on between a couple of riders. Gil Lejeune now has dropped 9 seconds after that crash. That's confirmation. It was an 8:12 opening lap, but 7:57 when you change the settings because of the run into the first section from the start. Now, can the Frenchman hold off the rest of these riders? Looks to me like the chasing group is starting to come back. The European champion, the Italian Filippo Grigolini. Dutch rider's well wrapped up against the cold, isn't he? Delano Heron. He's the guy in the orange. Here's the two Belgians trying to come back now. Gil Lejeune with his teammate Lars Corsus. It's not a day to have shorts on, is it? -9 at the race start. The steps, nimbly done by those riders. Very impressive to watch them. This rider just looks like he really flows well, doesn't he? Looks so comfortable. A little bit more pressure than he was, so it's a case of just seeing whether these riders come back to him or not. We'll find out how this settles down. You don't want to go out too early in the racing, but Soren Briere, of course, was the winner of the World Cup last year. He's an impressive bike rider. 32 points he had last year, ahead of Matteo Agostinaccio, who is signed for one of the big World Tour teams now. He won it by 6 points. Gilles Lejeune was in 3rd place in the standings. These young riders are just maturing so quickly. Briere last year, he had 2 wins in the World Cup. He won the first round and he won the 4th round. This year he's decided to go out very early and start to stamp his authority, which is exactly what he did last season after the end of round number 1. Steps here in Tábor, not one of the long step sections, but it is difficult because you come out of the turn there. These Belgian riders get themselves back into this race. They're now tracking only 6 seconds behind.
We can see in the live timing the time of the first lap of the leader from France.
Oh, and another fall there in the background. Is that Gilles Lejeune as well? Another fall on the corner. It might be that the tyre pressure isn't quite right on that bike. If it is Gilles Lejeune, I didn't quite see whether it was him. Having a difficult day if it is. And now we've got a bit of a change at the front. Filippo Brigolini is the rider who has taken over the first place, ahead of Soren Briere. Patrick Pezzo-Rossolo is there as well. Of course, Patrick Pezzo-Rossola is the son of Paolo Pezzo. And a big fall there by the American as well. Jacob Hines hitting the deck. His dad, of course, Patrick Pezzo-Rossola, the son of Paolo Rossola. Dad, a winner of 12 stages on the Giro d'Italia. Italian champion. He comes from very good genes, doesn't he? Paolo Pezzo, one of the most amazing mountain bikers in women's cycling who's ever lived. On lap 2. Welcome along. This is the situation at the front. Soren Briere, last year's World Cup winner. Filippo Brigolini of Italy, the European champion. And Patrick Pezzo-Rossola in the Italian champions' colours. Suddenly, Italy are producing pretty amazing cyclocross riders. We think back to last season with Agostinaccio, who finished 2nd overall in the World Cup. Oh, and a little problem for the Italian champion through that turn. The 2 Belgian riders, led by Gilles Lejeune. This trio are working well now. Their advantage is starting to grow. It's now 9 seconds to the Belgians. So we're going to have a 5-lap race today. It's been confirmed. Bit of instruction coming from the Italian coach at the side of the track, which is allowed in cyclocross racing. Briere is quite keen to continue with the workload on the front, and that's interesting considering he's got two Italians with him. Oh, and another fall, and the fall comes from Soren Briere. Little mistake from him, the first mistake we've seen from him on this race so far. And now the Italians start to force the tempo. Rigolini's decided, let's put the Frenchman under pressure. Coming up to the end of this lap now. The lap situation is going to be. The end of lap number 2 of 5 in the Men's Junior World Cup Cyclo-cross. Round number 1 in Tábor. It was an 8:02 lap from Grigolini. From Briere, an 8:09. He opened up with a 7:57 in the first lap. I wonder whether that was maybe just a little bit too quick and the legs are starting to feel it a little. The gap back to Gil Lejeune, and last courses, they're not out of it yet. 7 seconds, 10 seconds to courses. Well, it looks like one rider is trying to come across now. That'll be Gil Lejeune. There he is. He's going to make it if he doesn't have a little bit of a mistake again. 17-year-old rider. Quite a bit on the road this year, but looks so comfortable in cyclocross. Just look at the way that he corners and how relaxed he is on the bike. Okay, he's made a couple of little errors here or there, but he's flowing now, isn't he? Make the way back up to the centre on the top there, that little climb to the run-up. Here we go, up the steps. And Gil Lejeune has now made the junction. So a Quartet now at the head of the race as we're on lap number 3. So if you've just joined us now, welcome along. 4 riders in the lead: Soren Briere, Filippo Grigolini, Patrick Pezzo-Rosala and Gil Lejeune. Behind them, the gap is now opened around about 13 seconds to Delano Heron. Now let's see how this quartet works together, because with 2 Italian riders tucked in here, they can use team tactics to very good effect. The European champion on the front, 17-year-old rider. He's going to join the decathlon under-19 team for next season. He currently rides for the Borgio Molino Vigna Fioriti team. It's a club team in Italy. But he's been spotted by that decathlon squad, so they're taking him in. He finished 6th in Giro d'Abruzzo, the national race in Italy. It was earlier in the season back in May. So on the road, he's having a few results, and that's why I think they've decided, let's bring him into that under-19 development squad. So many of these big World Tour teams are looking for the best juniors. Lejeune just hanging off the back a little bit on that turn.
15 seconds behind the leader. It's a significant gap.
Sean may well be suffering a little bit, having made his way across. It was a pretty hard effort to get there. Just losing the odd second here or there. He won't give up, he'll just try and stay there. The pits, yet again, not being used.
Toho pětiokruhového juniorského prvního dílu světového poháru letošní sezóny.
Another forcing the tempo as we get to the boards. Angelini really wants to try and make everybody suffer now, and it's the two Italians who are dominating this race. Here's the gap, back to Delano Heron. He's the guy in the orange colours. Last courses, who was with Gil Lejeune, the Belgian rider. Then it's Francesco Del Olio, and another Italian. And Tommaso Cingolani, he's also there. The Italians have got the most formidable team right now, and a problem for the Czech rider. The chain has got blocked. Finally manages to get it back on. Petra Bodlak. Gil Lejeune is finding this pace just that little notch too much. Recover. He's obviously gone into the red at some point in trying to get across to this trio. He did an amazing job to get there. But the European champion is making his legs scream right now. So Briere having to work hard. So is Patrick Pezzo-Rosala. So Briere refusing to give in. He wants this World Cup title again. Take back-to-back victories. He's decided he's had enough of the European champion forcing the pace, fighting for the little bit of power at the front here. The European champion doesn't want Briere to dictate the tempo. He wants to force it. The problem here for number 5. This is Giovanni Bossio having to run the course. To 24 minutes of racing covered. Maybe Gil Lejeune is just deciding, let's let these riders fight between them. I don't want to get involved in any of the situation that's going on right now. Let them do their thing.
Guy Soren Briere Dumar, that's the guy who had the best start in today's race.
Oh, and a little bit of a touch of wheels there. Cas Timmermans hitting the wheel of the British rider, that was Jacob Steed. Getting a fight for the ascendancy, that front position. You get confirmation there on the screen of the 4 riders who are at the front. Cellini does not want to relent at all, does he? I don't think they're too worried now about the situation behind. They've opened up a nice advantage. 23 seconds to the next group of riders. We come round now to complete lap number 3. The last lap was an 8:02. So we'll just take a little bit of a look around. Cellini, having done all that work, decides that he's just going to swing across the road. And we come up to complete lap number 3. That was an 8:16 lap despite all of the forcing. So we've gone 8:03, 8:02, and even with the amount of pace setting, we've gone 8:16 that lap. Next rider coming across. Jari Van Lee. He's just completed an 8:03 lap there, and he's coming back quickly. So having said there was no worries, they might actually, if they mess around, see everybody else come back. So let's run through the top 10 riders for you. To that point, Filippo Grigiolini is the leader with Soren Briere, Patrick Pezzo Rosala, Gil Lejeune, Jari Van Lee, Lars Corsus, Delano Heron, Tommaso Cingolani and Francesco Del Olio. That's on top 10. Also in their top 10, actually just missed him, Noel Goiger. Oh, look at that, another crash. These little corners will be getting some moisture on them now. That was Jari Van Lee who just fell off. And sometimes you're just going to lose the tyres. Again, it's the European champion with another acceleration. Don't back these riders, do they? It's been full on from the start. Fastest lap so far, Soren Briere, lap number 1, 24.86 kilometers an hour. Filippo Grigiolini's lap number 2 was a 24.6 kilometers an hour. 5 seconds slower. Starting to get a little acceleration. Gil Lejeune has done a great job. A bit of a stretch of the tempo. Again by the Italian. He really is on good form today. If you'd like to be in touch, don't forget, follow at UCI_cycling. At Ant McCrossan is where you can get hold of me today. So, yeah, having to work hard now to try and come back. See whether this duo can ride away. At the front, trying to come back now. Two Belgian riders are so close to getting themselves back to the front of the race. Dutch rider doesn't like the cold at all, does he? He has got so many jackets on. Delano Heron, and why not? If he feels the cold, then wrap up against it. Well, the Italian rider, if he doesn't win this, having really forced the pace for so long, he'll be pretty disappointed. But so with Soren Briere, the Frenchman in third place there, he's had a fantastic day today, he really has. Went out early on, had a little bit of a crash, but apart from that, oh, and a fall of the European champion. Grigiolini decides he has to go into the pits because that brake hood has got a problem as well, and it just shows you how quickly things could change, and the bike wasn't ready. The bike wasn't ready, so he's going to have to do another lap. This could cause him the race. How were the pit crew not ready? Oh, and another fall at the front. Gil Lejeune over the boards there and goes fully over the bars. Here he goes, looked good initially on the first one and gets it horribly wrong on the second. Total endo and over the top. How Soren Briere managed to avoid him, I don't know. Suddenly this race has turned on its head. Cyclo-cross is the unpredictable sport in so many ways. The race changes again. See now how it unfolds. Grigolini's bike got a big problem. The Frenchman now has stacked his authority on this race. Last year's World Cup winner trying to take advantage of the falls, which is totally okay in cyclocross bike racing. We're on the penultimate lap.
Again, the French rider,
Somehow, the Italian champion, Patrick Pezzo-Rosala, is back on the wheel. Used to play a lot of football. He used to be the goalkeeper of Chievo Verona.
Changing his bike. On the second place right now, Patrick Pezzo-Rosala. Then Filippo Grigolini. And what about the next positions? It seems to me there are right now 2 Belgian riders battling for the
Big attack now of Pezzo-Rosala. He doesn't want to wait for his teammates.
over to
Starts to push the pace a little bit more. Looking at the riders, this rider, the European champion, is the strongest, but that mistake is costing him. And now Pezzo-Rosala decides to go. Got to be fast through the turns, but not over the limits, because you just don't know what you're going to encounter on each of these laps now. Starting at -9, it'll be interesting to know what the temperature is at the start of the women's junior race, see how it's changed. So it's Italy, France, Italy again. Much talk right now about cyclocross becoming a Winter Olympic sport. Tábor would be a good place for that, wouldn't it?
Druhé depo, které je těsně před tou levotočivou 180 stupňovou zatáčkou.
Coming up then to complete this lap. We're going to get the bell. Big sprint through here this time. There is no hanging back. 1 lap of racing to go, and that was a fast lap, an 8:08. Second fastest lap of the race. Pezzo-Rosala is trying to win this now. 5 seconds ahead of his teammate, Grigolini. Here's Delano Heron. Behind him, no, Goiget. And last courses in that group of riders. This is Michael Hettiger. Goes through, riding well actually, the Austrian rider in 9th place. And this group of riders looking for somewhere in the top 10 if they can. They're just outside it. Soren Briere has gone clear now. Just take a look here, another little fall. Gilles Lejeune hits the deck. He's had a day of crashes.
Another fall for this Belgian rider. He's right now on the 5th place.
So Soren Briere-Jumart at the front now. Can he bring home the first round of this World Cup like he did last year?
Behind the leader.
Same location, but he wants to start the season with his hands in the air.
Behind the leader.
Behind him, Patrick Pezzo-Rosala. Right in on the wheel now. Lovely camera shot through there. Gives you an idea of just how close these riders are following each other. Grigolini, he's not over yet. Refusing to relent. So it's between these 3 riders. Last year, Gil Lejeune was third in the UCI World Cup. A very good start to the season. Patrick Petso-Ursola was 19th overall last year. And Grigiolini was 14th overall in the UCI World Cup for juniors. So it'll be interesting to see these three riders, maybe being the dominant four. Jari van Lee, though, has got other ideas, and he's coming back. Jari van Lee of Belgium is trying to close the gap now. The Italian champion pushes the tempo a little bit. He realises that riders are coming back, but Jari van Lee is on an absolute mission. Closing this gap, and he's closing it fast. 6 seconds now for the Belgian as Patrick Petso-Ursola tries to keep this gap open now. Just look at the background. Jari van Lee is coming back. If they slow down, the Belgian rider is going to get there.
Nothing to wait for, ladies and gentlemen. The final lap.
It's the final lap.
Battling for the top spot right now.
So why not?
Rider is with 2, Patrick Petso-Ursola.
Jari van Lee getting closer to a podium position now, but it's the Italian champion who pushes it a bit more. Is it too late for the Belgian rider? There he is. Keep forcing. Patrick Petso-Ursola has realised the danger. Puts in a little bit more pace. Oh, and he falls on the corner. This is the problem. You're right on the edge. Through the turns, you can fall. Through the pits now. Here's the recap. Oh, just found a little bit of a divot there. The wheel went from under him. This race has been full of trials and tribulations for these riders. Now it's Soren Briejuma over the hurdles this time. And the European champion is back in it, and all sorts of mistakes being made by the Italian champion. Now he's in 4th place. He was in control, and now it's going out of its control. And here goes the European champion now. Filippo Grigiolini goes to the front. 38 minutes of racing. The Belgian is almost back on the wheel. There he is in the background. Can he rescue an incredible victory and take it from the clutches of the riders who've dominated this race? Well, first thing on a Sunday morning, you don't get racing much better than this, do you? Jari van Lee is now in a position to win this Junior World Cyclo-cross World Cup. He's in the wheel now of the Frenchman who led this race for so long. The Italian Patrick Petso-Ursola has disappeared and is fighting another turn. Jari van Lee now has to just calm himself down, get that breathing settled, get in the wheels, and then fire into the finish line. But a big acceleration now from Filippo Grigiolini. Soren Briejuma doesn't give in, and Jari van Lee is right on the wheel. Jari van Lee, what a performance by the Belgian. He's come from nowhere. His lap times, 8:23, 8:10, 8:03, but then an 8:10 when they slowed down. This may well be the fastest lap of the race for the Belgian. Just got to keep himself in the wheels. Nearly 40 minutes of racing has gone by, and another big forcing of the tempo. just puts the pedals into that corner, nice and aero. Every little trick matters. And the Italians shouting at their riders from the side here. Can Pezzo Rossola get himself back in here for a podium? He looked like he was the rider that everyone was worried about. It's going to come down to a sprint of 4. Can he rescue this in the end? What a fantastic race we've seen this morning. Again, another pace setting by Filippo Grigiolini. He's looking for these last turns now into the finish. Who is going to get this? They come onto the tarmac, and now the sprint opens up. Who's going to win this first round of this UCI World Cup? It's Grigiolini, the European champion. A sprint between him and Soren Bruyère-Jumar. But Jari van der Lee is there as well. But it's Soren Bruyère-Jumar who celebrates to take the victory. Jari van der Lee in second place. We'll take a look at the photograph, but it looks like Bruyère-Jumar has taken it. He celebrates. What a fantastic bike race. Soren Bruyère-Jumar through the middle. Jari van der Lee takes second place, and Filippo Grigiolini looked like he took third. The riders coming in now. Every single point counts at this time in the season. Nice and early, get yourself some early points. Jacob Steed looking for the 10th place. That was an exceptional race. And that's why the World Tour teams try to sign these junior riders. Soren Bruyère-Jumar, an 8:14 final lap. Jari van der Lee's final lap was a 7:58, 1 second slower than Soren Bruyère-Jumar's fastest lap. His last lap's average speed, Jari van der Lee, 24.83 kilometers an hour. Absolutely exceptional.
Jari van der Lee on the second place and Filippo Grigiolini in the European champion jersey in the third place. It would mean bad luck for Patrick Pezzo Rossola, the best of the Czechs. Anthony Lyon with big 32 on the 16th position.
So the riders just completing the course. The Belgians will have something to talk about today. Look at this sprint between these riders. Grigiolini, the European champion, Soren Bruyère-Jumar. He celebrates very, very early. Very early, but he had it. Jari van der Lee, second place. Taking a little wheelie there.
Filippo Grigiolini. It was a beautiful close and slow motion replay of the tight finish, and right now it seems to me everything is clear.
Patrick Pezzo Rossola out of the top places. Jari van der Lee a little upset here at the finish, but he can be very proud. The way that he rode that last lap was incredible.
Viděli jsme ten závěrečný spurt, který tedy podání belgického reprezentanta Jari van der Lee.
Here's the results. Round 1 of the UCI Junior Cyclo-cross World Cup for men. Soren Bruyère-Jumar wins in 41 minutes and 2 seconds. Jari van der Lee in second, Filippo Grigiolini in third place. There's the makeup of the top 10, and we'll let you digest the rest of the results here in Tábor.
Si dojel v rámci dnešního závodu Filippo Grigiolini. Já už mám tady jednu pochybnost, ale uvidíme, to je všechno v pevném držení rozhodcovského sboru a počkáme si ještě na jejich zhodnocení a schválení toho dnešního závodu kategorie juniorů, závodu, který je tím otvíracím v té letošní sezóně světových cyklokrosových pohárových klání po celém světě. Tábor tedy je tím úvodním závodem, který pro sezónu 2000.
The French rider making his way towards the interviews.
Tak dámy a pánové, takže to je juniorský závod, který máme v těchto okamžicích, to se té závodní části týká.
Never gave in, did he? Led from the start, had a little crash, had a problem in the middle, but never gave up the hope of winning.
Dorazili jste ve velkém počtu, abyste naši české, tady máme 39, 39 to je jeden z našich borců, Ondřej Podhajský, který je už také v cíli, má ten dnešek za sebou.
Tábor is always fast racing. A little bit of frost on the camera lens. Here's the highlights of today's race. The riders making their way out of the race start. Ahead of them, a cold and crisp morning, -9 at the start. Lejeune was involved in the early action. The early pace was set by Soren Brière-Jumar. It's icy cold in Czechia. The racing was warm. This was the problem for the Frenchman. After leading early, he was joined by the two Italians, Filippo Grigolini and Patrick Pezzo-Rossola. But every one of the front riders had a little issue at some point. Lejeune crashing on a few occasions today. It's slippy and slidey. Ultimately though, it was all about the sprint between 4 of the top juniors. Very early celebration by Soren Brière-Jumar, but he was confident he had it, taking the victory. Waiting now for the podium presentation.
Závodu kategorie juniorek. Vážené dámy, vážení pánové, pokud jste přišli právě teď, vítáme vás. Jsme velmi rádi za to, že jste přijali pozvání na dnešní závod světového poháru tady v Táboře. Závod, který je tím úvodním pro sezónu 2025-2026. Krásné cyklokrosové, prosluněné nedělní dopoledne.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it means the race of the junior men is over.